Recently, a new Pokemon Snap dropped, and I'm broke. So I'm gonna play the original instead.
Someone who has no memories of this game probably are currently scratching their heads at the hype that was and is surrounding the long overdue sequel that came out on the Switch just this week. A Pokemon-themed on-rails photography simulator? It seriously sounds like an arcade game gimmick or something. But this little experiment was released in 1999 on Nintendo's flagship console.
So Pokemon Snap, huh? Turning on the game meets the player with a scene a lot of photographers can relate to if they've ever tried to take pictures of live animals. The photographer here is struggling to get a good shot of Mew as the legendary Pokemon darts across the frame. Ugh, I know the struggle, bro. When starting a new game, we're met with Ash Ketchum's future stepdad, Professor Oak, who needs you, the player, to help him with his research by photographing various Pokemon around this island featured on the game's map. We're thrown into a little vehicle called the 01 and sent onto the island via teleportation, and off we are to start our photography adventure. After a quick tutorial on how the shooting mechanics work, we're set on the stage called Beach, a sunny and bright location home to Meowth, Pikachu, Butterfree, and more. By the end of this, we're given a second stage titled Tunnel, a defunct power plant home to ghosts and bombs, among others. And here is when the gameplay starts getting kinda interesting. See, starting out the gameplay is all about just getting that shot, which is already a challenge, but after trying out Tunnel, we're offered Pokemon food in the shape of apples, that we can toss to interact with creatures in each on-rail section. Using these, the player is to find new secrets in each stage, including the pathway to new stages. See, if I hit this Electabuzz with an apple, it agitates it enough to power up this little screen here that gives us clues for other secrets. Or we could toss it at this Voltorb here to make it C4 the wall here, and oh boy, we're moving into the third stage, Volcano. From here on out, this is how it is. We find ourselves getting to, or unlocking, by varied means every course. The river, the cave, and the valley. During this time, we unlock the Pester Ball, basically an item we can use to smoke certain Pokemon out of places or to agitate them to do certain things. You know, because what's a little bit of wildlife photography without a little bit of wildlife harassment? Am I right, boys? Or am I right? Yeah. After finally getting enough points, we can unlock the Pokeflute. This allows us to find even more things in previous stages, like the weirdly entranced Charmander, or Zapdos, or Articuno. And as you figure out the way to unlock the next branching path in Valley, you are met with Oak, who is now vacationing, I guess? Well, no, actually, he started to realize that there are signs placed in varied places around the island that resemble Pokemon. So now we're asked to speedrun through the game again and photograph these signs, all revealed through various methods. Such as having to lead Pikachu towards a Zapdos egg in the course tunnel, then playing the flute for Pikachu to then electrocute the egg and release the legendary Pokemon for that Pokemon to then reactivate the power plant and make this shadow that looks like a pincer at the right angle. This is probably my favorite part of the game. It's basically built on paying attention and finding secrets. Like, did you know that in the cave, if you rescue these Jigglypuffs, you can see them singing at the end? Or did you know Staryu follows you around if you take a centered picture of it, goes into a whirlpool, and evolves? How about the fact that these derpy-looking Bulbasaur that actually can pass as a Bulbasaur in the game are revealed to be Ditto if you manage to land a Pester Ball on him? Here's my favorite though, since it's unspeakably hard, and even though it's so cartoonish and crazy of a concept, the game does not even acknowledge it if you manage to pull it off. So you're in Cave, the course where you see multiple Jigglypuffs being harassed by Coughings, right? Saving these guys creates a little concert for the player that awards bonus points. I remember getting this little secret on my first playthrough literally just because I felt bad for the Jigglypuff, and figured the game wanted me to throw a Pester Ball to stop the coughing. Well, that was correct. In the next room, you see a Zubat holding a Pikachu high in the air in similar fashion, and trying to land a Pester Ball in this little kidnapping is probably one of the hardest things in this game. If you manage to do so, Pikachu will float safely down, and a picture of this Pikachu will get you a ton of bonus points. But that's not it. If you start playing the Pokeflute near the Jinx with the egg, Articuno will appear, who will then fly off and disappear, leaving you to go up and see the little Jigglypuff concert. But you've been faked out. See, if you turn around and ignore the music, suddenly Articuno reappears, turning around towards the player, and after scooping up the rescued Pikachu, flies directly into the cave with the Jigglypuff concert. Which is so unspeakably easy to miss, many legitimately thought this was an urban legend for a really long time. On top of this, if you manage to get this majestic shot of Articuno carrying Pikachu on its back, Oak doesn't even acknowledge or give bonus points for the shot. It's almost like the devs wanted to hide this so bad that they even covered their tracks in case data miners took a cursory look through the dialogue files in the game. It ends up being a really cool shot, and I really couldn't care less if Oak thinks that the sizing is so-so. I guess with that, I should talk about the meat and potatoes of this game, the scoring system. Basically, this, despite being a Pokemon video game with teleportation and floating hyper-intelligent cats that are also God, it's a pretty decent simulation of what it's like to try to take photos for a client versus when you're trying to be artistic about it. See, Professor Oak wants to document these Pokemon, so to him perfect size means that he can see a lot of the Pokemon in the frame, perfect pose is something the Pokemon does, or simply if it's just facing the camera, and it must face the camera, so no room for shots like this, or shots like this, which if they were not from a video game from 1999, I mean, I put it in my wall, it looks cool as hell. But Oak wants all shots like this. Impeccably composed documentation shots so he can study them. If you do this right, you get big number. Do bad and you get small number. Luckily, you can save all your cool artistic shots in the album and give the lame run-of-the-mill shots to Oak for the Pokemon report. Each course also gives you plenty of exposures to use, 60 to be exact. And when you run out, you end the stage early, which is nice if you're desperate to not have to watch that exit cutscene for the 50th time. The game has this very slow, simple, easygoing gameplay style, yet it demands the player's focus at the same time. Everything is very time intensive, and if you're not paying attention, you're not going to get these cool shots, much like actual photography goes a lot of the time. Now I think I should talk about the ending. If you manage to get all the Pokemon signs, Oak realizes that the secret lies in the strange rainbow cloud above the island. Because constellations, I guess. I would have just figured there was something up there if there's a rainbow-colored cloud, but whatever. So the final course begins.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. And you will know when you get there. It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road. It is a road that you go. It's a road that you go when you die. It's a road called
Yeah, so the game's final boss is getting a picture of Mew, who you have to break his shield with stuff and then take a picture of. But to get the best picture, you have to stunlock Mew before they can get back to their shield. And, the game ends. The credits roll with your photos on display, and wait! I haven't gotten back and photographed them all. I gotta go do that. Oh, cool, I'm an official photographer of Pokemon now. And a new style of credits. Real neat. Beating this game took me about 4 hours of total gameplay, given I kinda took my time with it and had some fun. It's honestly a lot shorter than that. Speedruns boast 23 minutes of gameplay, which, whew, if only I had that steady of a thumb. But despite being short and sweet, it does treat the player to a ton of replay value, since there are so many secrets and things to discover, different ways to do shots, and again, it's short. I can play this in the time it takes to watch the extended edition of Return of the King. The presentation is nice, with really good music, including the sick beats I'm dropping on this recorder with the Pokeball taped on it. And I just love the low poly charm with this game. There's something about the subjects of the photos that look so nostalgic for me, given the graphics haven't aged well at all, but growing up this game looked so good to me. It was like seeing all these creatures I only saw in Game Boy games right in front of my face. So at least for its time, it looked really good. I think Pokemon works best when it leans heavy into its cartoony style, which it seems to be doing with the new game. So I'm excited to try it out when I'm not, broke. As a photographer, I've really learned to love this game as a part of my development as a photographer. Get it? Anyways, I found that time and time again, this game is all around a really good time, and I highly recommend it to others. I give it a wonderful out of 5. Thanks for watching.